Well, hello, fellow constitutionalists, and I want to talk to you today a little bit about religion and politics, since this is a Christian political talk show that I put out every day. And this article came across my desk, and I shared it on Friday's show this week. It's called Religion and Politics at the Dinner Table, Challenging the Old Maxim. This is by Christopher W. Love over at thepublicdiscourse.com. Now, this is a Witherspoon Institute program that they got going on. And folks, I encourage you to bookmark thepublicdiscourse.com. They put out some very good, thought-provoking articles. Now, you may not agree with everything in all the articles, depending on your point of view from anti-freedom to freedom, but this is a good one because this is something I do on a daily basis. I mix politics and Christianity and religion, as it were. And I want to bring it from this standpoint that I think we do a disservice, and like Christopher points out, we do a disservice on the way we train up our children. Now, we should train up our children in the way they should go. And this works, folks, this works whether you're talking about religion or not. If you train your children to grow up to be a hater and a racist and stuff like that, that's the way they're going to go. And I'm not saying they can never be changed or their mind can never be changed, but I'm just saying the way you train a child up is the way they go. If you train your child up to seek freedom and liberty for themselves and everybody around them, and train them in this type of ideology, that's the way they're going to tend to go too. If you train your children up to be Christians, more times than not, I'm not saying it's 100% because it's not, but more times than not, they will go that way. And even sometimes when they stray from the path, sometimes they'll come back. But it all boils down to a lot of times at our dinner tables or in our homes, we do not allow our children to express themselves politically. And this is very dangerous, folks. Excuse me, because I don't want automatons going out in society. I don't want my children to be afraid of asking tough questions or challenging their own ideologies or challenging somebody else's ideologies. And if I can't give them, and this is the gist of this article that I'm going to cover, that you can go and get. I have the links at the bottom of the video here. If you don't allow them to exercise their gray matter up here to start critically thinking about things and encourage talking about politics, even at the dinner table, or religion, even at the dinner table, I think you're doing a disservice to your children, and you're making them ill-prepared for life. We have a group in college now for the past few years that have been ill-prepared for life. They don't know what it means to have their ideas challenged. What they grew up in was an echo chamber where all their thoughts and ideas were reinforced instead of challenged, especially if they're not reasoned through and they're not truthful and fact-based, in which they should be challenged. And this really should begin at home. And why should this begin at home? Well, it's easier. Their brains are a little more malleable when they're younger while they're at home. So it's easier to train your child at it from a younger age. But again, I'm not talking about indoctrination, even religion. I'm not talking about indoctrination. I'm talking about sitting them down, showing them the principles and the as far as like the New Testament, showing them the New Testament, showing them the principles of Christianity through the New Testament, through God's Word, and sit down and discuss it with them. And trust me, I'll tell you, they're going to have a lot of questions for you, and you need to have the answers or sit down and study the answers together. And this is not unlike politics. There's a lot of things that are going on in this world that you may not know, but you may get asked that question. So the best thing to do is sit down and discuss it with your children and sit down and study it together, research it together, try to find out the truth and the facts of the matter. You be open-minded to ideas that are foreign to you, and your child will be open-minded to them also. Another reason why to do this, and when you do this, not another reason why, but when you do this at home, you need to keep the peace. Remember, as a parent, you don't have all the answers. As a child, they don't have all the answers, but guess what? Somewhere in the middle, through your studying, through your debating, through your peaceful discussions, your loving discussions about either Christianity or religion and politics or whatever else it might be, you're not going to be hurting each other's feelings. And if your child has a different idea than what you think is orthodox, or you think is correct, you shouldn't yell at them or anything like that or try to correct them sternly. You just sit down and reason with them. And when you do that, I think you go a lot further and it's a lot better for you. when, how, and why you should do these things. And again, it should be done in a peaceful atmosphere, sort of maybe controlled atmosphere, without a lot of outside influence. What happens a lot when you get into these political discussions, if you have a big group of people, and this is where comes the when or why or how or even where, I'll add that on to there, you get too many voices talking. So if there's a serious question that's brought up to you, it's okay to take that child aside and sit down and talk to them by themselves without all the rest of the kids or the family together. And I'm not talking about taking them in a private room so you can beat them if they don't agree with you. I mean, sit down, have the other kids go watch TV, sit down at the kitchen table, maybe you have a cup of coffee, they have a soft drink or something like that, and sit down and discuss these things. And how you do it is just as important as when and where you do it. So these things you got to sort of figure out on yourself, but it's most important. And I think if you have this type of band in your family, and the author here in this talks about challenging, a challenge to lift the band. What Christopher Love is talking about is we need to get out of our cocoons like this, and we need to seriously talk to our children about religion and politics. Even if it's at the dinner table over a meal. Keep it civil. If there's a serious question, there's too many voices coming in there, and the child wants an answer to that question, sometimes you have to divide the herd, as it was, and sit down and talk with that child by themselves. Or if a couple of them have the same question, sit down with the group of them, depending on how many kids you have. I remember as a scoutmaster, we did this a lot over the campfire. The boys brought it up. I never brought it up. The boys brought up questions for scoutmasters, and we talk about it. And sometimes it was economics, sometimes it was religion, sometimes it was politics, sometimes it didn't have anything related to any of those. It was just another question in life. And we were more than willing to sit down and talk with the child and challenge. We would challenge them, even though they may be right, even though they did agree with us. My habit was to challenge them to make sure they knew why they believe what they believe. And I think that can be done in a loving, caring manner. But what's happening in our society today is too many people raise these children up, and they're in an echo chamber. You believe the way I believe, and that's it. We're not going to discuss it. You don't have a safe haven here at the house to discuss these ideas. And when they get out in the world and they get these multitude of voices coming against them, no wonder why they want to find a safe space, because they're not used to having this type of discussion or debate. Folks, if you like these videos, if you especially like this video, please give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. If you like what I'm doing here, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification, and as always, please, if you want to comment on this, I don't personally attack folks. I attack ideas and policies and stuff like that. Leave a comment why you liked it, why you disliked it, and I'll try to get back with you as quick as I can with some comments if it's warranted. So you guys have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you on the next video.